Thank you. I forgot to turn my mic on. I appreciate it. It was not intentional. I thought I turned it off. I thought I had it on the whole time. Anyway,
I think it still will be on unless...
we are going to add colors. We're either going to add colors. If it's on, we're going to add the color for that type of thing, whatever we're doing. And so we don't need to push. We're just going to say color. And we're going to let the color equal off color, which is white. Is that not off color? I don't have an off color. Off color equals white. Let's make them hex values. Off color is white, and the other colors are these dudes. So for each bit, and we can do this just by saying if bit, if it's 1, essentially, color is going to equal, we're doing value encoding. So the scalar value encoding, I don't know what color to use for it. Oh, we'll just use on color for scalar because, oh no, that's white. Sorry. I don't have an on color, do I? I need off color. I have off color. I need a scalar color. I'll just make it cyan or whatever. We'll change it. We'll change it later. I just want to see it work. Good grief.
Someone likes that button.
Somebody's getting a little crazy out there. It's not even on the street you can see anything, so. Just imagine this cop is hitting a siren button over and over. Oh no, it's an ambulance. There it goes, barely see it. Super exciting, I know. Okay, so we're turning it off, and then then we'll turn it to gray. I don't know. Let's just call it cyan. And then we'll just push the color. So we're gonna do this for each. That was our value, and now we're gonna do it for this one. Day of week. Okay, scalar, day of week. I try and do it simply and inefficiently first, and then we'll come back and play around with it. And make it more readable or cleaner, let's say. I'm gonna do the same thing here. Off, we're gonna start it at off. Oh, I can actually I could just say if there's a bit, there's a bit? If there is, we'll give it one color, otherwise off color, right? That's better than doing this. Is the bit on? Yes. Then use cyan, otherwise off color. So that's even better. And then we'll push it. Or, I mean, honestly, I think I can do this. We're just gonna make it one line. Right? That's all I gotta do. So this, and all we're changing is the color here. And like I said, we'll fix it. This was day of week. The day of week color was this. All right, now we're gonna pull the weekend encoder, do the same thing. Weekend, code time for each. Actually, I'm just gonna copy this whole thing. That's what we're gonna paste for the rest of them. And weekend color is this. All right. Hour of day is next. Do that. Paste that other line here. Hour of day is time of day. Time of day, hour of day, same thing. is a different color, right? And that's it. So we've got our scalar. No, that's not it. What are we missing? Day of week, weekend, hour of day, day of month. We didn't do day of month. So let's do day of month. All right, after day of week. Day of month. That. And the day of month color. And after I get this, I think I can just take all these away. Okay, day of month color is this. All right, so I got colors. Got scalar encoding, day of week encoding. So at this point, we should have an encoding with a bunch of colors in it. Most of them are going to be white. Yeah. That looks like it worked. So, no, it didn't really work. Some of them aren't. We're not seeing it all because it's, okay, we're just not seeing it all because it's truncated, but it looks like it's working to me. At least the cyan bits are moving through the space, or they were a moment ago. Oh yeah, I'm not caught up with it. But you can see the bits moving through the space. That's a little bug. Like there's a real bug in here, not a virtual bug.
Brains.
Dan, thanks for the follow. What?
That's me.
That's you?
Yep.
That's my son.
Yeah, I just followed you.
Dan having bruh
Moment.
moment. That's your Twitch username?
It's very long.
Dan having bruh moment.
Yeah. I'll probably change it if I can get the chance, but for now, that's all I want.
Bruh.
Seriously.
Bruh.
Seriously.
Bruh.
Oh man. Now to see if I can edit the count.
Noah likes it.
Nice.
All right. So guess what, you guys? Now it's time to do some D3, I think, because we got this array. We got this array in the format we want. I mean, let's just take a look at it. It should be, yeah. There's the other values in their spaces. So we should be able to pretty easily render this into D3 right now. Oh man, what broke? I don't think anything is actually broken, is it? Yes, there is. Oh, this is because of what you were doing, probably, David? If you might not have that class. Yeah. Okay, no big deal. I'm going to commit the other stuff, ignoring that. And okay, so the package we updated to simple HTML, which is what we needed to do. So the combined encoding is all new, and excuse me. So yeah, so this is all fine. We're gonna get to this in a moment. We're not gonna have a number line or a value, but we will have output cells. Don't need to do that. Okay, those are our encoders. That's the off color. Okay, we're not using precision round, are we? And I don't think we will be using precision round. Okay, that looks good to me. Our new encoding time. Wait a minute.
No, I'm just playing with that.
You're playing with that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, no worries. So I'm going. How do I unstage this? I'll do it over the command line. And then so our combined the spatial pooling page is now pulling in the combined encoder, putting it in place. We don't need this anymore. Actually, I'm going to leave that just because I like seeing it change. It gives me a visual confirmation that data is moving in case this thing isn't. And then, oh yeah, I'm gonna change the update rate again. I'm gonna leave it at 1,000. That was just for test. All right. So I'm not going to commit the encoding time page because you're working on that. So git add package, pages, spatial pooling. components, diagrams, combined encoding. Okay. And what we did here was we basically created a combined encoding array. All right, so I got that. I'm going to push that to push origin to a branch on called combined encoding if anybody wants to play with it. So you can get to that right here if anybody wants to see it. I'm not going to do a pull request yet because I'm not ready, but you can see what I've done so far there. Okay, so the next step that I want to do is some D3 stuff. We're going to create some rectangles. And this is actually pretty simple, I think. At least I've done it like a million times. Like created a bunch of rectangles. But to jog my memory, I'm going to go look and see how I did it in the other space when I was working on, excuse me. Let me go see my other diagrams here. Wasn't these? So it's this type of thing. This is what I'm gonna draw, and it's just like a simple like SDR. Well, it's not an SDR. It's just a binary array. So this is the first one on the input space. So let me find that. Input space, potential pools. So there's pretty simple function to create these rectangles. If I can find it here. Update displays, mini column. Oh, I created an SDR drawing class. All right. Now I gotta figure out where that came from. Was it in displays? Not in grid cells. Where did that come from? I set it up probably in, I'll find it. Just bear with me. Maybe not. Where did I get this? Where is this coming from? I'm requiring SDR drawing, but I don't know where I'm pulling it from. Ooh, blogs, how grid cells map space. Oh, so it must be at a lower level than this. Live displays, cyclic encoder fancy, grid cells. It might be here. Grid cell module, 1D, GCM. It didn't show up when I act for this. Where the heck is this? Am I pulling it from somewhere else? Each one of these is requiring it from somewhere else. I need to look. I need to go back. We need to go back. We need to go way back. Hold on. Bear with me here. This is the state of the repo a long time ago before I started working on all this stuff. I just want to see. This is January, so January, February, March, April, December. Okay, let's look at the code right here because I want to see. I know where it's going to be in this Webpack config. SDR drawing. Here it comes. Oh, it's in Selviz. All right. I haven't talked about Selviz yet. But cellviz is a thing. Cellviz. If anything, I'm just going to steal code out of this for right now. SDR drawing. I think I used this. This is way overkill. This is way overkill for what I want. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. Excuse me. Oh, that's weird. I'm gonna do this without all the overkill that this thing brings into it. So I'm not gonna use that. We're just gonna create our own thing in combined encoding in render output cells. Okay, so we're gonna do this ourselves. We are going to probably need to do this orient D3 thing. We don't need to. There's no min and max. We're not doing a linear scale. The only thing that we need to account for is n, because n is the size of the thing. So we have diagram width and n. So this is again important. Okay, diagram width and n are important. I don't know that we're gonna need these linear scales. Maybe we will. We probably will actually. But we won't need the min and max scale. We'll need the bits, the output display one. Yeah, so we'll only need a scale that goes from 0 to n, but that's not true either. I don't know that we'll need these scales. Let's try it without. Let's see if we don't even need to orient D3. Let's not call orient D3. Let's just call encode and then render output cells. One thing we need is this encoding needs to be set. Okay, so I'm going to set the encoding once we call encode, so we're giving ourselves an encoding. And so because we did that, let's say encoding equals undefined. Initially, we'll have an undefined encoding. As soon as it's updated, that's when the encode will be called, because we know we have a time and a value at that point. All the encoding happens. Then we have an encoding array, which has colors in it. And so now we're going to render output cells. So we definitely are going to have this treat cells function, but we're going to treat it a little differently. We definitely want to know. I don't need a display state, but I do need to know n and w. I need to get access to the output cells. Let's forget about all that stuff. I don't think I need any of that stuff. Okay, so instead of this is simply, all we need to do here is, hold on. All right, so here we're returning the color as the fill, stroke, dark gray, width, whatever. So each one of these needs an X and a Y. No, this is for a circle. This isn't right. This is circle. We don't want a circle, we want a rect. The rect is just X and Y, not CX and CY, and there's no radius. There's a width and a height though, and those are always, I think, gonna be the same. So we need to, that's a constant, cell width. And so this is gonna be the cell width. This is not dynamic, this is always gonna be the same. And then the height is also gonna be the cell width, because we're doing squares. Is everybody following me?
No.
I'm not talking to you.
Good.
Okay. So we're going to create yet another data array. We're going to take the data array that we got, and we're going to add X and Y to it. And actually, I'm not going to do that. I've just decided I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this completely dynamically. We're not going to put this in a data array. We're going to do it based on the index of the cell. This should be X. This should be Y. And we're gonna decide X. So what we're doing here, I'll draw it out for you. All right. So what we're doing here is, let's do this with some squares. So imagine that we want to draw a ton of rectangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, tons of rectangles, right? And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to draw a rectangle for every cell, and we want them to draw like this, and at some point we want them to say, oh, that's a boundary. We don't want to go past that, and then the next one will come and be drawn over here. And so for each one of these data points, we're going to draw one rectangle, and we're going to put it in this, and then go down here, and then again. So every single treat rect that we're coding here is going, now we need to decide, like, what is the X? And this isn't right. So for each one of these cells, like for this one, for example, it's going to run this function, and we're going to see, like, okay, we're at index 43. What is the X? What X should this be? So like for this cell here, if this is the one we're looking at, we might drop in and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Your index is 14, and you need to return the X value where this needs to be drawn, and you need to return the Y value where this needs to start drawing. So that's essentially what we're doing here. The boundaries depending on the screen size. I haven't decided the boundary yet. What it will depend on is diagram size. No, diagram width. All right. So we want to decide if we're beyond the diagram width. If we are, we will bump down to the next row, or we're going to decide the X and Y essentially dynamically. So the X is pretty easy, I think. So I don't need the data point. All I really care about is, let me show you this first of all, so you can see it working, because it's easy if you just return X and Y. So let's start with this. The cell width, I haven't decided yet. The cell width is going to be the diagram width divided by well, I mean, I have to decide now. I'd like this to be roughly square. So probably what I want to do is decide how many rows that I want. Rows up and down, not columns, because or no, I want to decide how many columns I want. And that's going to depend on, I could just take the square root of n, I think, and call that. That's how many rows or columns. It doesn't matter. So row count. That's not a count. It's just rows equals math.floor math.square root of n. Okay, so now I know how many rows I want. So if n's 100, that should be 10. So then it'll give me a square. It's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. So, okay, so the y is the tricky bit. The x is the easy bit. So so I can tell how wide this we should be now based on how many rows I have. Cell width is diagram width divided by rows. Okay, so that's our cell width. And so now I need to tell x. So if I'm the first thing, then I is going to be 0, and x is also going to be 0. So if I just return I, it's going to look silly, but let's do it for a moment. I don't think I need any of this right now at all. None of that, because that's all just manipulating a data array. So these aren't circles anymore. These are rects. We're creating rectangles. The data is the encoding, which contains colors. I'm gonna name this. I cannot rename this element. What? Yeah, I can. Why did it tell me I couldn't rename that? Can I rename this element? No. That's odd. New rex. I sure can. Okay, so we're going to enter this data. This basically, I've sort of explained this before. This is a D3 thing. We're going to select the rectangles on the page that don't exist yet. We're going to bind them to this data, and then we're going to tell D3 as new rectangles are created based on that data, append a new rect, and then treat the cells appropriately, which is what I'm doing here. When they are removed, if the data changes and there's less elements, then those will be removed. I did a lot of code without actually anything working, so yeah, I don't expect this to work. It never works the first time, does it? So rect attribute width. So I've got not a number for width. So cell width is not a number. So this isn't working. So let's put a debugger here. See what's going on. Come on, pull down. Okay. N is undefined. Oh, right. We can't render output cells on the first go round. So who's calling update? Oh, kids. Yep. Mom's here. Oh. Bear with me. I will be right back. I just got to take my kids downstairs.
Wait, I need to unpack. Pack.
Okay, you pack quickly, and then I will take you downstairs.
Yeah.
And then I'll be free.
I'm gonna watch you. I'm gonna play noises now.
You're not gonna play noises. This is how. It's my kids can't see each other, but they're both online.
Thank you.
Dean's online. Noah said bye.
That's nice.
Through Twitch chat. Okay. Sorry. Okay. You're not done yet. Okay, something's broke. Yes, my son Falco's like, your son's gonna troll you. Yeah, he always trolls me. He trolls me at home. When I'm alone with him, he trolls me.
Yeah, from that. There's no escape.
There is no escape.
I'm your son, there is no escape. I'm your son, there is no escape.
Oh man. You might not think that it's true right now, but we're really close actually to having rectangles drawn on screen. It's just.
Isn't that easy?
Isn't that easy?
Yeah, you can just draw a rectangle on the screen, use it for markers.
She doesn't know, does she?
No, I'm talking about computer graphics, not just drawing.
Then draw 3D.
Are you ready? Mom's waiting.
I'm ready.
Very cool.
All right.
I'm over here to inspect what you're doing, to use your comb.
Use my comb. Okay, hold on.
Oh.
Okay, guys, I'll be right back. I'm just taking my kids downstairs. He said stand your ground. I'll stand my ground. He knows who's boss. He knows who's boss.
I do. Hey, you made my headphones fall off you. Oh, yeah. Get out of here.
I'll be right back. I'm back. Still have. Interesting. He said he left his phone here, but I don't see it. All right. Hello. Whew. Those stairs. It's a lot of stairs. I go up and down the stairs several times a day. 4 flights of floors. 4 flights of stairs. We're really close. I still think we're really close to getting this working. Where were we at here? Before I had to go do the thing. Let's see. It is good for my heart. Definitely. I don't think I have a sound for anything like that. I haven't heard this one though. Anytime anything weird happens. Earlier I just went to the stairwell and just ran up and down a couple times just to get the blood pumping. Okay. We are trying to draw rectangles. I just had a debugger set because I was trying to figure out something. Why? What was it? Failed to compile. Where was I? Oh, it's something Dave is doing. Dave, are you still messing around in here?
Yeah, you're good. I should be fixed.
Oh, you got it. Okay. Okay. Oh, man. There's something going on now. There it goes. That's just an ambulance. False alarm. It's not as fun as a fire truck. Alright, I'm still getting a compile error on that playground you're working on, David. There it goes.
Whoops, sorry.
That's okay. You got it. Oop, just be paying attention. Okay. Thanks. Okay, so where were we? Everything's not a number. That's where we're at. So, oh, right. We were at, remember output stuff. Component did update, but props are undefined. So I can't call. I thought this would only call, it probably calls on the initial update. So I just have to ignore it if there's no value.
You mean it shouldn't call it until the props actually update once.
So why would it be? It's a commit life cycle.
What's the data value?
Previous props. Oh, I know. Wait. Hold on. It has data. I'm just not using it properly. Okay, don't worry. It's my fault. This. Yeah. I'm not sending it diagram width or in. That's the problem. But no, I'm expecting. I need to send a diagram width, and I need to calculate n. That's the issue. Okay. So in my spatial pooling page, I'm going to send it a diagram width. And I think I've been using the same, whichever one I'm using for numbers, 500. That's fine for now. Maybe we'll end up making that some type of parameter at some point, but that's fine for now. So I've got diagram width. N is not going to come from props. So let's just make this props.diagram width. N is going to be the length of the encoding. That's it, simple. So the square root of this dot encoding dot length. That's how many rows there are. So that should fix this, I hope. Aha! We have something. Perfect. Does anybody know why I did that? I do. Because we're just rendering by index. They are squares. Yeah, they're squares. Each one of these is a little square. The width is much longer than or bigger than it should be. For whatever reason. I don't know why, but diagram width is 500, rows is 15. So cell width is 33. This shouldn't be that high. Why is rows 15? Oh, it's because our encoding is really large. Divided by... Something's wrong here. Square root of whatever. So I should have 15 columns. Yeah, 15 by 15, right? 15 by 15. Yeah. Okay, so these are the right sizes. This is the right size. We're gonna get a big square if we're using diagram width that's 500. So the problem is here. So we're returning I and we're not calculating. So let's just worry about X for right now. We should drop into this, and so we have access to D, which is the color. But we don't really need it. Oh, this is. All I have to do is this. So that'll take care of the fill. I think that'll actually fix the fill problem. Yeah. Colors work. Look at that. And it's updating. Check it out. That's exactly, I mean, this isn't exactly what I want, but I mean, the data structure is perfect. The data
Hey, Matt, can you click on the encoding time link?
Yeah.
Oh,
Ah,
sorry,
look at that. So you already got... Why do you do this to me, David? I'm up here, I'm trying to get this working. You're like, oh, I got it done. Did you use D3 for this?
No, I just made it in React. You can just look at that combined playground file
Okay.
if you want.
So... Yeah. Just in render. So you just did it with divs and styles?
Yeah, there's so many new style things like CSS grid that'll automatically lay things out for you.
Yeah.
Grid format.
Cool.
All I'm doing is just rendering a div for each.
This is almost exactly what I'm going to do with D3 right here. So yeah. How are you doing the X and how are you laying them out? You're not. You're just letting them roll over, right? Yeah.
I let CSS grid. A lot of this code is like styles, which would be in like a style sheet rather than just like a styles object.
Right.
But if you look at like line 13, line playground, all you gotta do is say display grid, and then you can, like, the next line says show me 20 columns.
Oh, nice.
You can configure everything.
Okay, cool. So that's cool. I'm glad you showed me that. I'm not gonna do it that way though.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to play around.
No, that's cool. I didn't even know. Whoops, I broke it. I had no idea you could do that so easily. But this is pretty much exactly what we're going to be making, and then we'll tweak the sizes of things so that it sort of makes sense. But I'm going to do this part of that stuff you were just doing manually, where you're just saying the grid size. So I have to decide, do I need to drop down to another row for the Y or not? That's essentially it. The X is easy. I've done this so many times before that it should be really easy to do by now, but I always have to do this mental arithmetic, to figure out, at what point do I, but for right now, if I just want the X value, no matter what my index is, I want to divide the index by the number of columns there are, first of all. This could be rows, this could be columns. Let's call it columns. Let's call it columns. Why can't I rename this element? It keeps telling me I can't rename things. I don't know why. Okay. So, I want my x value. Excuse me. First of all, it's going to be a modulus. I'm going to use some type of modulus to do this. It's I modulus columns. Okay. This isn't it, but this is the way to it. Like I said, I always have to like do mental arithmetic to make this work the way I want. Okay. Yeah, so we're going 0 to 14, 0 to 14. That's what I want. So that's going to be my x, but it has to be multiplied by cell width, and that's going to be x. There we go. All right. So our y is still wrong, but the x's are right. So it's not too hard to do this. I just always have to think it through first. So obviously the x's look good. If I change the diagram size, if I make this 300 or something, it should snap to the right size, and it does. Okay. So now we just need to do the y's. And the y's are something very similar to that. So I'm just going to inline this. It's dependent entirely on that. So the y's, the y is going to be it's a little bit more than just the modulus. Now I have to think this through again. In the first row, so it's this times something. So it's the x. It's where we are in the x value. If that's under. Okay. So just bear with me. It's math in public is not my strong suit. The whole first row is going to be 0. The whole second row is going to be cell width. So it's cell width times something. It's the same sort of deal. It's blah, 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 blah times cell width. But it's, but I have to do the value of x, or the value of the index. It's like a floor. Yeah. It's the value of the index divided by. It's okay. I got it. Okay. It's math.floor that. No. What? Okay, I just didn't compile something. I forgot this. There we go. That was it. Okay. Take this off. And there we go. Here's our combined encoding, dynamically updating. Let's speed it up. It's always more fun when you speed it up. How about that? Okay, and if we change this, so I've got it so the scalar encoding is taking up most of the space here. And then like this one, which is probably hour of day, is hardly taking up any. So we can change all this to our heart's content here in how we configure, close some of this stuff down. How we configure the combined encoding. Honestly, eventually I might pass this in as a parameter, but I don't really care for the time being. So I'm going to get rid of this. I don't need to orient any D3 scaling or anything. Here's the stuff I could change. So if I want this to be smaller, I could make this 60. I could make this take up less space in the encoding. I could make the let's make the hour of day encoder. Let's make these more important. So make this like 40, and make the hour of day really important. We'll make it 100, and it's going to take up 30 bits. All All right, so now, so you can see how we've changed the way time and scalar value is being encoded by changing the parameters. We've weighted it more heavily now to the time of day, which is taking up a big part of the space. If I could make this time of day huge. Let's make it 1,000 and watch how much it takes up. So the whole of the encoding is essentially time of day. Let's make it a huge encoding for time of day. Blam. So this stuff down up here is not really semantically very valuable anymore, is it? It's this. That's the majority of the encoding. I'm going to take this off from... Let's take this out. I don't need to do this anymore because I have something. Oh, damn it. What happened? There we go. I don't need to do this anymore because I've got it. It's being updated. It's beautiful. How come the hour is not always the same length? Well, I keep changing it, don't I? I just changed it to like 400. Is that what you mean? Right here, it's, or 1,000. I could make it 10,000. Now it's whatever I want it to be. Shouldn't it start with a fixed length and stay that way? It is. You mean the bucket size? It is. It's the same bucket size. As far as I can tell, it's the same bucket size. It's just moving. It looks like they're all this. They should all be the same sizes. W doesn't change in the life of an encoder. W should all be the same. So this is the W for one, this is the W for other. This W is very big. If I made all the W's 1, for example, there will just be one of each, except for one I missed. Oh, the scalar value encoder, I didn't do that, but...
What's the red one?
The red one.
Was that weekend?
I don't even know, because I changed everything. Here. Let's make this scalar encoder 1, 3, 5, 7. This is way too big. 1, 3, 5. What's this one? Let me turn this down. Okay. So 1, that's a scalar encoder. The next one, it's the order in which I'm encoding them. So it's scalar, day of week, day of month, weekend. So this is day of week, it's got 3 bits on. Day of month has 5 bits on, and one of them's over here, notice that. It's because it wraps. Maybe that's what you noticed, the length changing? This one's got 7 bits on, and this one, what did I make it, 9? Hour of day is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's not 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this is hour of day. What's this one? Day of month. It says 5, but it's not 5, is it? Cyclic encoder, min-max. Is that the one you're talking about? You think hour of day might be, or day of month might be wrong? Hold on. Day of month. Let's just make this red. So I know. No, I have 2 reds. No, it's just this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got 5 bits on. That's right. Okay.
I think if you look at, and this is Falco speaking, if you look at the blue line.
This blue one at the bottom.
Yeah, it starts with, I don't know, 4 or 5, and then it gets longer, and then it stays 7. It starts not fixed. Maybe it's intentional then.
I don't. Oh, maybe it's rolling off. There may be a few more bits down here that aren't showing. No, that doesn't seem right. I see what you're saying. I saw it just a moment ago, right when it got to the end.
Yeah, like where was it at the end? It disappeared.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now, see, now it's longer. You see, the first blip, it's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it gets 1, 2.
So I'm wondering if there is. Oh, you see, there's rectangles down below here that aren't being shown.
Oh, the CG's not big enough.
Yeah, I need to make the SVG taller. That's why. Okay, well that explains that. So here's what I'll do. I think I need to add just some gutters or buffers or something around this, so I'm not using the diagram width to decide how many rows and columns I'm having. I'm using sort of a padded value. So I'll do what I did on some of the other ones, which was just like add a gutter, something like that, or a padding or something. So let me do that real quick. Let's say diagram padding. We'll just make it 20 pixels, and so now we'll need to change how we calculate how many rows we're going to have, or we just say minus, what did I call it? What did I call that? Diagram padding. I don't know why it didn't autocomplete. Diagram padding times 2. We still have a little bit falling off here. All right. So there we go. Now we should see the same amount of bits every time. Yeah, and it'll wrap around. Do you see anything else that's weird here? I'll go back and change I want it to go faster now. 3, 5. This is like 9. Okay. Okay, I'm happy with this. I am going to change the encodings here. So for the scalar encoder, honestly, if we're encoding a scalar value, I think I would want to weight the actual value higher than I would the time associated with it. You may or you may not. It's up to you. Day of week. Now, one thing you might note, the day of week encoder is a category encoder, so there's every value is discrete. There's no overlap between Monday or Tuesday, right? It's not a continuous day of week encoder. It's a categorical, discrete encoder. So like Tuesdays will not be semantically similar to Wednesdays. If you wanted something like that, you wouldn't use this encoder, you'd use a cyclic encoder. In fact, we could even do that. I'll show you how it works. So we could have one option for discrete days of week, and we could have one for continuous days of week. And instead of this, we would use the cyclic encoder, just like we did for the others. And we can make it whatever we want. But it's going to be 0 to 6. I think that should work. Yeah. So now the day of week, which is 1, 2, the third one down, this one, it's going to scoot a little bit at a time. It's not going to jump, right? It shouldn't jump from one to the other. I don't see it moving at all, though. Why isn't it moving at all? Something's wrong because it's not moving. Oh, that's the weekend encoder. Sorry. Maybe these aren't in the order that I thought they were in. What I really should do here to clean this up. Oh, here I've got them here. Is set the colors right. Give them some decent names. Day of week. I didn't even comment that out. It shouldn't have mattered, but this, if I do this day of week, and I also should be able to simply remove these if I want to test out 1, for example, and only see the 1. So there is a problem with this day of week encoder. obviously. Let me try this. Let me make sure that this one works. Okay, I broke something. Hold on. I'm changing too many things at once, so bear with me for a moment. Forget what I was talking about. Yeah, that's what I was trying to do there. Okay, discrete day of week. And I am saying it's 5. No, sorry, 3. So the one with 3, this is day of week, and it's discrete. Okay, I was looking at the wrong value. So this will never overlap. When it moves 3 ahead, and then it moves another 3 ahead. Isn't it? It should. Yeah, then it should move here. Then it should move here. Yeah, then it should move here. That's what it seems to be doing. And then it'll repeat. And then I'll jump up here. Yes, okay, so that's discrete. Yeah, I will have to do some cleanup, I think. So if I want to change it and do a continuous one, I want to see what this looks like now. Now it's gone. How did it like completely go away? I wonder what happened. Probably because I'm not encoding it the same way. I have to encode it differently, right? Yeah. So instead of getting the days, right, so if I wanted the continuous, this is discrete. If I want to do the continuous one, I would have to get rid of the days thing and just use the actual integer day, and there we go. And now this should move ahead. Oh, it's not doing what I wanted. I know why. Hold on. Because I've got it spread too wide. I only have 7 categories, and so it's jumping. So if I make this smaller, like if I make this 14, then I should get some overlap. There we go. Now we get some overlap, right? Yeah. So now it's creeping, right? It's not jumping. Every value is semantically. So in this case, Monday is semantically similar to Tuesday. I don't know which one you want. It depends. So I'm going to use the continuous one. I think that's more of like time of week versus discrete day of week. I'm going to use the continuous one though. And we'll take this one out. All right. You think discrete makes more sense? It could be. Honestly, it really depends on your data. It depends on what you want to do. The overlap's encoded in the hours. Well, the overlap between Monday and Tuesday is not encoded in the hours, except for the late hours of Monday with the early hours of Tuesday. You know what I mean? But early Monday has no relation to late Tuesday in the discrete encoding, but it might in the continuous encoding.
I've been thinking about this when I was doing the MIDI encoder.
Yeah?
And the overlap is actually the other parts of your encoder. So the time is the overlap. The hours is, in your system, the hours represent the overlap between the days, but the days are discrete. It should actually be 1 bit, unless you want to have it a bigger weight.
Yeah, it depends on what you want to do, I think. I think it's one of those things. It will work differently in different situations. And
Yeah, but that's why.
Well, you may want a discrete encoding of day, in which case Monday and Tuesday have no similarity. Here's the thing. If you're really saying if you don't care what hour of day it is, then you could just do the discrete encoding. And I'm just saying there's a difference between early in the morning Monday and no, let me take that back. There's a difference if you decide to do a discrete encoding or an hourly encoding. There's a difference. Monday's different. If it's late on Monday, early Tuesday, might be semantically similar in some cases and not in others, depending on how you encode it. If you use the discrete day encoding, they will not be semantically similar. 11:59 Monday will have no similarity with 12:01 Tuesday, unless you do it in the hourly. If you do an hour of day or an hour of week or something, you'll see similarity in that.
Yes, but you have to remember what you're talking about or who you're talking to. You're talking to a machine that is trying to get semantically representative bits as a whole. So he doesn't know what Monday means. He doesn't know what 12 o'clock means or early means. But it has got to make semantic representations, and it has already some bits in the hours, and it has some bits in the days. And so what you mean about it is less important than what the machine is going to make out of it. So Monday is Monday, Tuesday is Tuesday, and not part of Tuesday is becoming Wednesday. The hours code for that. But it's up to you, of course. That's how I coded the MIDI encoder with frequencies. What frequencies should you explain to the mechanical brain?
Yeah,
we can talk about it.
No, I think I agree with you, but my point is there may be reasons to encode it discrete sometimes and not discrete other times, and there's a similarity between there's a difference between time of day and just day, and you might want to encode both or not. It depends on what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so let's assume this is fine. I'll figure out a better color for the scalar encoding at some point, but okay, let me commit what I've got so far, or at least do a quick review of what we have here now that we've got some rectangles on the screen. Okay, we have some padding. Initialize the encoder parameters, all of our encodings. We're not orienting D3, and I don't think we're going to have to. Yep. Okay, the actual cells, I think this is all pretty clean.
You can discard my changes too.
Oh, okay. Oh, the combined playground. I might keep it around locally. Just take a look at it later. Okay, encoding time. I gave it an ID, combined encoding. Oh, this was you. Spatial pooling, here we go. So all I did here was give it a diagram width. I removed the print out, and once again, give it a 1 Hertz update rate. Okay. Pages, spatial pooling, components, diagrams, combined encoding. I think that was it. Okay, colored recs are rendering. I'll push that out to the combined encoding branch that I shared last time. All right. So this is good. So just a reminder where we're going with this is I'm in here. All right. So here's what we're trying to get to. We've got a good portion of this left part. This left part's pretty much done. We need to do the right state. So we'll be working on this, which should be easy. We just need a trigger, a switch of some kind, and this is going to be a UI element that doesn't affect any global data at all. It just affects how this component renders itself. So it could be a D3 component, probably easiest if it, I don't know, I just want a toggle button of some kind that I can switch between the colored and the not colored. So first, I'm gonna just set up the functionality for that, and this should be pretty easy. To just have a flag or something in the. Let's get rid of this stuff. This could be actually, maybe we'll do this outside of it. It could just be a state of the component. We could make it a React input that's a toggle, and it just sets the state whether it's combined or not. That would be easiest, I think. And I'm sure that there's some React toggle components out there that we can easily take advantage of.
Well, I think we already made a toggle button.
We already made a toggle button? All right. Yeah, we did, that's right. So we already have that. So in the spatial pooler then, we'll give it, what do we call it? Combined. Initially we'll go this dot props dot combined. And I did not set up a state on this, but I assume I can do, it's this dot state dot combined, because I want this to be a state. State equals combined. Initially it will be false. So this should still work. All right, so now I'm gonna set up, I'm just gonna catch that and decide whether, so now it's time to do a little color cleanup. I'm gonna get rid of some of this continuous stuff I was doing just because it's in the way. I just wanted to show how you might do that. And then I think I'm going to establish a couple like variables to set up colors. Like this. This off color, I'm gonna change that to white. No. Hold on. Wow, what the heck? Hold on. I think my VS Code, I think something's wrong with... Every time I try and rename anything, it tells me I can't do it. Now it's working. All right. Okay. I'm gonna actually name these colors. The day of... So the scalar encoder... I'm sorry, I keep going back and forth about this. I know I keep going back and forth on this. Okay, const scalar color equals day of week. I could just create a colors object. Yeah, this is fine. I'll go get them in a minute. Const day of month color.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
That's the worst one.
No!
That's the worst one. Live share's dead. Oh, I restarted the editor. I'm sorry. I guess that was a worthwhile use of that sound clip. Okay, there's the link, and let me share the server again. Okay. Almost peed his pants. I should take that one off. That was just too loud. Okay. Day of month color. Hour of day color and weekend color. Hour of day color. Diagram padding. So we got our colors. So this was cyan, which I hate. This is a fire truck, you guys. Here we go. Fire truck break. Okay. Now that that's over. Okay. So it's either the scalar color or off color. And this is going to be day of week color. Day of month color. Hour of day color. This is the boring part of programming.
Hey,
Whoa,
Matt,
whoa,
those
whoa.
colors,
Hold on. What was that?
those colors, is that where you're gonna do the conditional to say whether or not combined is true or not?
Oh, I haven't decided that yet. I was just cleaning up the
Oh, okay.
colors. Hour of day. Oh. I thought this was... So I've got these a little bit out of order. I want to have them in the same order. Scalar, day of week, day of month, hour of day, weekend. Weekend's last. Okay. That's one thing that was tripping me up earlier. I didn't realize I had those out of order. Okay, hour of day. And weekend. Okay. The actual color I wanted for the scalar encoder was something sort of purpley. Hold on. Doesn't Google have Google has... They have like a color picker now. Purple hex code. I swear that Google did this. If you search for like purple or something like that. No, I swear that at some point I searched for purple hex code, hexadecimal, that Google like pops something up automatically. It doesn't matter. I just want a semi-unobnoxious purplish color, so let's go with this one, Dark Orchid 4. And we'll deal with, oops. There we go. We'll work on styling at some point in the future. I just want to get something going on. So, now, to decide where we want to make the decision of when to, or what color to do, that's going to be honestly, let's just say off color and combined color. Let's make this a grayish. And so I don't really want to add a, well, I could, can I? I mean, I could do this, right? I could do this dot props dot combined. There you go. Yes, thank you. If combined, use the combined color. Otherwise, scalar color. This is a little bit of a... Okay, I think I said false. So let's combine them now and see if that turns gray. Oh, it is. Yeah, true. See if that turns gray. Yeah, it does. Okay, so that should work. And it's a little bit of a...
Yeah, I would do it slightly different.
Okay, tell me how you do it, because I don't like having a tertiary condition within a tertiary condition.
So you can do like
Excuse me.
What is the combined color?
It's just gray. I mean, it's up here. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I've already got it defined. But what I really want is the on color. Do I want the on color to be gray or the... I have to do this. You have to do this within each of the things. Oh, I see what you're doing.
And then you just do that for.
Okay. Okay, I got it. That makes sense. So I can just do this. Boom, 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 boom. That's a little tricky. It's a little hard to read, but it's efficient. Uh-oh, did I change that? If combined, combined
you know what
color, otherwise undefined. If the bit's on, and it's either the combined color or the scalar color. What happened here?
I think the combined. I reused the combined color name.
Oh, right.
Uh,
So you could put. Just have to rename. I see what you're doing.
See if that fixes it. If it does, you can rename it.
Yeah, that fixed
Oh,
it.
real.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna change this to something a little grayer. There we go. Maybe. Okay. So now, let me change this. I'm gonna change the name of this to. What should I name that? I always default to. When I first learned Java, that was one of the first thing I learned was any local variables. I'm just gonna call it my whatever. It was the global variable name. And I always hated that. Like, why? That seems so silly to call something my variable. Okay, but what should I call this? Let's just call it joint color. I don't know. And I'll name this something so we don't have two combined color. So that should still work. And now we've got a toggle somewhere. So let's see, input. We've got a toggle button, right? So all we got to do is use this toggle button. Let me see how I used it. I think I used it here. So I'm gonna grab this. Let's split that over there. Bring us in that toggle button. See how we're using that. There we go. So we've got a toggle component here. This is a part of the render. Okay, so I'm gonna put that in my render. Whoops, not like that though. That's not what I meant. Not in the return. Up here. Okay, this is gonna be called toggle combined input. The options are, how did we do this? Where did the toggle go? Yeah, either line or circle, so I'll have to, could just be true or false, I imagine, right? I'm gonna try that. I'm just gonna send it true or false. So the options, true, false, I think that'll work. Okay. Value is state.combined. On change, we're going to this isn't going to set the color. This is just going to tell whether it's going to be going to show color or not. So I don't want to set the color. I want the component to decide what color to show, this is just going to be this thing. Yeah, gray or color, but I'm calling it a combined. The thing that it's displaying is whether the input is combined or not. So I'm going to call it a combined. The state is combined. True or false. If it's true, we'll show it all gray because it's all the same. If not, we'll show it. Actually, we're going to start with false. On change, value, set state, value. Okay. And then I just have to now I just have to use it in the combined encoding. Because hold on. I'm actually not using it yet. So now I have to use it. Toggle cyclic encoder. For example, this. So if I add this underneath of it, toggle combined input. I should get a toggle button of some kind. Okay, but I need to give it a value, I think. No. What is this cyclic encoder state? Oh, that's part of the on change. I don't think it likes the true versus false that I sent it. So let's try the words true and false. No, that's not it. What did we do here? Sets takes an object of state variables, update a function with returns an object of state variables. How did I do this before? On change. Maybe I do need to set state combined value. I shouldn't have to do that. Oh, I know. Yeah, I should. I do have to do this. I know why. But this is going to be called combined. Set state combined to the new value. I'm still not sure if, I hope this true and false works, but I'm not sure if it will. If I press this button, it works. Okay, it works. So now I just have to have some display there. So where did I use this toggle button for? That was for line and circle. And so if I put, instead of true or false, if I put actually true and false, that should display, shouldn't it? But it doesn't. Oh yeah, it does. True, false, okay. And all I gotta do here is, not here. Since I'm using, instead of combined, true, I'd like to use, I'll do this for now. So the values are going to be combined or split. I don't like that, but we're going to deal with it. We're just going to deal with it. So my on change function, excuse me, I can. No, but I don't want true and false to be showing up as the label for this button. That's why I'm doing this. Otherwise, if I did, it would say true and false, and it doesn't describe what it is. I want it to say combined or split for now. Maybe we'll figure it out later. But the new value is not new value. It's we're going to do this tertiary thing and say if new value equals combined, No, that's not right. Wait a second. I was expecting it to be true or false. So all I need to do is just, let me just leave this exactly the way it was because it's fine. And in here, in the combined encoding, I'm going to get the combined, and instead of this combined, I'm just going to say if combined equals combined. So right now it's combined, now it's not. Combined, not. Combined, not. Great. Check it out. We have a combined encoder. It works. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Okay. That's great. I'm happy. I am happy. So, okay, so I'm gonna wrap the stream up in a bit. If you guys want to raid anyone, go check out who's streaming and let me know who you want to raid. I am going to put a label over this for now, in the meantime, just so spatial pooling prototype page, and then we'll have combined encoding. Okay, so that should look nice. So check it out. We got done what we wanted to get done, which makes me pretty happy. I wasn't sure I was going to get done with this today. So a quick overview. We didn't do this bit, which is fine. We can do that some other time. We got the auto-generated data to load, and we've got it running a combined encoding diagram. This is great because it's proven to me that I can have a data source on the page that can push any diagrams that I want, that can push data to any diagrams that I want on the page. This is prettier, isn't it? So that makes me happy. This is insane. 10 millisecond update rate. You can really tell where the different contexts are when you see it that fast, right? Okay, I'll undo that. And so yeah, we got everything we wanted to get done today, which is great because you know what happens next. Let's look at our events page. You know what happens next? The spatial pooling potential pools is next. So our next diagram that we're going to do is, I think I showed you guys this already, potential pools. So we're going to start with what we just did, this bit, a combined encoding. It's going to be sort of the backdrop for the next visualization. We're going to be rendering recs on recs. So we'll have all these recs representing the input, the combined input in gray, and over top of it, we're going to be rendering the potential pools in a different color, which you see here. These yellow, those are all potential pools. So we're going to render potential pools for a particular mini column. So we're going to have to create a mini column array and create potential pools for each mini column over top of this input space we just created with the combined encoding. And then on click, so we're going to have a mouse over interaction that on mouse over you see different potential pools, one for whatever mini column you're looking at. And on click will show, these X's and check marks, which show you an input that overlapped that potential pool and that will be observed by that mini column for that moment in time, and the ignored input, which is overlap or non-overlapping input of the potential pool that is ignored. And hopefully this will make sense once we get to that point. So that's going to be next. That's what we're going to do next week on Thursday. So a week from today, we're gonna get into spatial pooling. We'll do so. We prepared. We did the prep. Thank you, KLD, for the follow. You just saw us doing the prep to do spatial pooling, and we are going to be ready next week. We are going to be ready for some real spatial pooling diagrams. That's the plan. Yeehaw! Thank you, everybody, for joining and watching the stream. Let me go find somebody that we can. We'll go to. Cosmo Quest. I owe her. She's always been great. So let's raid Cosmo Quest. That'll be fun. There should be a research meeting tomorrow, but you know how that goes. I got the impression that there was one. So we're gonna raid Cosmo Quest in a few moments. Thank you, everybody, for joining the stream. Don't forget to follow the page if you haven't already, if you're enjoying this content here. And if you're watching on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. All right, we're going to go raid Cosmo Quest. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Have a wonderful rest of your week.